Greetings, Dwayne. Real quick, we're going to run through a recap of everything that happened today based on the concierge trade alerts from last night. And the best place to start would be right here with the free trade that was given out to literally hundreds and hundreds of traders. And you guys took great advantage of it in a good way. And that's exciting. So let's take a look. Now, I told you back on Friday, the last free trade was given out on Thursday. Okay? Is that right? And it was for the Russell E-mini. And price initially ran down to 1132.70. Now the trade itself said to consider being short below 1134, long above 1148. I give you both sides because if I'm wrong, I still want you to have the best trade available on the internet. I have a bias. I have an opinion. Every trader, every analyst does. I'm willing to admit that from time to time, I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, that makes you wrong by default because you don't have a trade. So I fix that by coming in and sitting down and doing my best work. And if my bias is to the long side, so be it. If it's to the short side, fair enough. But when I'm done, I spin my trading cap around backwards with the brim to the back side. And then I give you a trade in the opposite direction, as if I believed that's really what was going to happen. Okay, put just as much attention, just as much effort into what I don't believe is going to happen. Guess what? Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes we're right in both directions. So long above 1134, short below 1148. Now, unlike some services which don't tell you, they say things like, well, you know, we think the market's definitely going lower from here. You might want to get in around this area or start scaling into your position. No, that's ridiculous, okay? Either get in or get off the porch or get back on the porch or whatever that saying is, you know? I mean, come on. Are you going to give somebody a trade or not? I don't know. I'm just ornery, I guess. Okay, first trigger down ran to 1132.70 or 13 ticks. The 2420 daily goal is 10 ticks. Second trigger down ran 35 ticks or $350 per contract. This is one of those trades where we triggered on both sides. First trigger ran up 14 ticks, $140 per contract. Second trigger ran up an incredible 148 ticks per contract, or $1,480 per contract. I can put you in the trade at the precise price that I want you to be, long or short. I can give you a precise hard stop. I can teach you how to put in a hard target, and I can teach you how to trail your stop. In fact, if you become a partner, if you become a concierge client, if you decide to take part in the one trade a day program that we're going to roll out again here in a couple days, we did the beta test. The results are in. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the one trade a day was very popular. And so here's how that's going to work. You're going to get registered and signed up for that. And if you just want to trade one contract, it's going to cost you $100 a month. No big deal. Bert is going to place the trade for you. Okay? You might be away from your desk. You might be out running around. You might not know how to manage the trade properly. No worries. It's going to all be taken care of for you. Bert has capable hands, okay? So a lot of you were very excited about the one trade a day program, and you were brokenhearted when I told you it was just a 3-day beta test. But it said right on the page from day one, I'm going to give you 3 trades. I'm going to give you 1 trade a day for the next 3 days. This is a beta test, okay? Again, the results are in, and it's good, and so we're ready to rock and roll, okay? If you're ready, we're ready, and we're going to fire this thing up here straight away. We're not going to beat around the bush. Will you still be able to get the free trades? Yes, that's 3 to 5 trades per week. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be more 3 than 5. It was 3 last week. It's going to be 3 this week. And I'm thinking it's probably going to just be 3. And the reason is because I'm going to be hyper-focused on the 1 trade a day program. Plus, I already have my concierge clients who I send 8 trades a day to. Well, now let me take that back. 8 markets a day, 2 trades per market. That's 16 trades I have to put together every night for the concierge clients and the partners. On top of that, I'll have all the people who originally signed up for the 1 trade a day. And I've got the free trade folks. So I'm busy, but I'm not complaining, okay? I feel that I'm in my sweet spot. I'm really doing the very thing that God created me to do, which is to help you find your financial destiny so that you can fulfill whatever it is that He put on your heart. See, He created you to do something, whether it's to build orphanages, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, preach the gospel, I don't know. But you and I both know one thing: ministry costs money. We talked today on the radio show and last week about people who feel the call on their life and they immediately quit their $200,000 a year job so they can move to a third world country and preach the gospel. Friend, the last thing in the world God needs is another broke preacher. You got to rethink that thing. If you're making a couple $100,000 a year and you really want to serve God, okay? Think of how many churches you could you know what it costs to plant a church and support a church. And by support, I mean plant, you get a building, you get a little piece of land, you cover the salary of a pastor, an assistant pastor, you make sure that their families have a warm, safe, dry place to live as they minister the gospel. You provide them with Bibles and the other tools of the ministry that they need. And as the ministry grows, there will be additional expenses, but also you're going to teach that pastor how this church needs to become, over time, self-supporting. Even in the poorest of countries, churches become self-supporting. Why? Because that's the way God's kingdom works. Now, I don't want to turn this into a sermon, but what I want you to do is I want you to think long and hard before you leave that $200,000 a year job, because God doesn't need another broke preacher, okay? What He needs are men and women in business, in politics, in entertainment, in education, who can make a difference. And I got news for you. When you're knocking down $150,000, $200,000 a year, you can make a difference, a huge difference. I ask you a question. What does it cost to plant and support a church for a year in a third world country? Well, do you want to do it halfway or do you want to do it top notch? If you want to do it, I don't like that term halfway. I'm going to take that back. If you want to do it on a modest budget, $2,000 a year. If you want to do it in style, I mean, really, you know, we're supposed to give God our very best. And if that's what you want to do, now keep in mind you're planting multiple churches. So you can't put all your eggs in one basket. And plus, you have to vet every one of these pastors. Now, I'm just saying, if that's what God's called you to do, maybe it's not. Maybe He doesn't want you to plant churches. Maybe He wants you to build orphanages. See, there's so much work to be done, no matter what ministry you're called to. But it takes money. Ministry costs money, all right? For $5,000, you can plant a nice church, and you can support the pastor and his family and the assistant pastor and their family, and then that church can begin to grow from 5 believers to 10 to 50 to 5. Hey, it's the hand of God, so we don't know what's going to happen there. But you're going to be a faithful steward. Now, if you quit your job and just head off, well, pretty soon your savings are gone, and now you're dependent upon folks back home or the church that sent you out to send you money. Let's just say, now, if you were willing to walk away from your job, that means you're going to have no income, right? Well, let's not do that to you, okay? Let's hang on to $50,000. That's $1,000 a week, okay? Now that leaves you $150,000 to plant these churches. By the way, I'm not hitting you up for any money. I'm just trying to help you think your way through the scenario that applies to your life. Okay, $150,000 divided by 5,000. That's 30 churches a year. I was dramatic and did it with the calculator, but I could have did it in my head. 30 churches a year. Let's say, for whatever reason, only 20 of them make it. You know? That's being harsh, but let's just say. In 10 years, you've planted 200 churches. But see, you're going to teach each one of those churches how to work inside of a 5-year plan. Within 5 years, you're going to expect that church to plant 5 churches. So if in the first year you have 20 churches that make it, 5 years out, you've got 100. Yeah? 6 years out, 200? Whoa, wait a minute. 6 years out, I've planted 200 churches? Okay. Now, we're talking about in countries where there's not an empty church sitting on every street corner every Sunday morning. You ever driven around on a Sunday morning, maybe decide to skip church, and driven by some churches and just see how empty the parking lots are? We've got an abundance of churches here in America. And every time I turn around, somebody's trying to plant a new one. What about the countries where they don't have an abundance but a shortage? What about countries where that other religion's taking a toehold and Christianity's sliding back? I mean, could you imagine in 10 years, from humble beginnings, you could potentially have 500 churches under your stead, under your stewardship. Now, you better pray long and hard. You better spend a lot of time in that prayer closet with God before you make such a bold move. But remember, you were willing to walk away from your job. You said, God, I'll surrender all for you. Now, that's admirable. It's just not always the smartest thing to do. Because while you might not be that great a preacher, some of the ones that you're going to vet and plant with they got fire in their belly. They got leadership qualities. Friend, you can turn a nation upside down with this little humble model that I laid out for you. So that's what we talked about on the radio show today and last week. Some reason it just keeps coming up. I'm afraid somebody out there is about to quit their job, and I just want you to be in touch with God on this, all right? Ask God what he wants you to do, and listen and be obedient to his word. Don't be a knucklehead, okay? I've been a knucklehead. I'm still a knucklehead from time to time. I could be a knucklehead again before I go to bed. I don't know. Could happen. Be careful, all right? And I'll be happy to talk to you. I have my best friend right now living in Kenya with his wife. They're there. They planted a church. But they're retired. See, they already did their life's work. They were retired, and they could have got a Winnebago. Could have had a Winnebago, dude. Traveled the country and seen the sights. And they decided to selflessly go and serve in Kenya. And they are having the time of their life. Oh, well, that was out of key. Time of their life? Yeah, they really are. They're healthy and happy, and they'll probably live forever. Well, we're all going to live forever somewhere. All right. So, now that I got that out of your head, and hopefully got you thinking in a direction that would truly benefit the kingdom, let's look at this trade. All right? It didn't make it all in the first move. Okay? It triggered, and then it pulled back. Somebody got a hold of it. They were all distressed. Oh, man, the trade pulled back, and I got stopped. Well, yeah. Did you move your stop? Did you take your profit? No. Did you know that important prices in important areas are almost always tested, and you had a second opportunity to get in the trade? No. Well, okay, fair enough. Now you do. See? That's why we have to show up every day for class. We have to ask lots of questions. We have to stay on top of this thing. All right? God's given us an incredible opportunity. We gotta make the most of it. All right? Now, Thursday morning, when it was done on the downside, it got busy on the upside. The first trigger up, it ran 14 ticks. That's $140 per contract. Now, we all know that in the Russell, if we're trading the 2420 blueprint, we only need 10 ticks a day to meet our daily goal. If we can do 10 ticks a day in 10 trades or less for 24 months, we'll be a 20 contract trader. That's what the 2420 blueprint is all about. Teaching you how to build a trading business and become a 20 contract trader. Now, let's say you don't become a 20 contract trader. Let's say you become a 10 contract trader. Okay? After 10, you just start to get nervous. You think more about the money than the trade, and so you just gives you the willies, and so you want to stay with 10. You're comfortable with 10. Okay. And you trade the S&P 500, and that's where you make your $100 per contract per day, 8 ticks. Or maybe you like the Russell, and so you go there and get your 10 ticks because it pays $10 per tick, where the S&P pays $12.50 per tick. Well, if you're a 10 contract trader and you make $100 per contract per day in 10 trades or less, you're grossing $1,000 a day. On a 5-day week, that's $5,000. That's before commissions and before expenses. But we can know what that's going to be because we are saying that we're going to do it in 10 trades or less. Now, here's the deal. If you can't make $100 in 10 trades or less, you're going to go back to the simulator. In fact, if you can't make $100 in 10 trades or less, you're never going to get out of the simulator. Not with us, not with our blessing. Trading is risky. You can lose all of your money and then some. However, if you will follow the program as it's laid out, do the work, write your business plan, write your trading plan, stick to it, become consistently profitable in the simulator before you go live. If you trade forward and not backwards, this can become reality. No more robbing the 401k, no more hitting up Aunt Ida. Once you go live with one contract, you're going to have to increase your account balance by $2,000 before you can go to the next step. If it takes you 10 trades every day to make $100, guess what? Now that's gross, $100 gross. It's going to take you 47 trading days until you can add your second contract. So now you're at 200 a day. Well, we're now going to go to a calendar-based schedule where on a very tight schedule, you will add a third contract at a predetermined time and a fourth and a fifth and a sixth. And the only thing that will prevent you from adding those contracts at the appointed time is because you somehow, some way, forgot how to make the $100 per contract per day. If you go 2 days in a row without making your $100 per contract per day, guess what we're going to do? We're going to pull you into the simulator, take you off the live floor, work with you, troubleshoot, figure out what's up, and then bang. Once it's sorted out, you've got your confidence back, we go live again, we pick up right where we left off. You don't have to start from scratch, okay? So if you max out at 10 contracts, according to President Barack Obama, you'll become one of America's wealthiest. That's how he puts it. Any household in America that has an income of $250,000 per year is considered one of America's wealthiest. And, of course, he wants to increase your taxes, but that's another issue. My point is at 10 contracts, $100 per contract per day. Do the math. You're one of the president's chosen few. Okay? You get to pay more taxes. All right. And help fund others' health care, other people's health care, which is okay with me. I mean, I pay $17,000 a year for health care before I can get a free Band-Aid. So, anyway, no need to harp on that. So, everyone understands how this trade works. Now, I can't get you out at the tip-top, final, last, end of the day tick, nor can I get you out at the swing low tick. What I can tell you is where you want to go short. I can teach you how to manage the trade. I can tell you every day, whether it's the free trade, whether it's the one trade a day that Bert's going to trade for you, or it's the concierge trade alert, you'll know, Bert will know at exactly what price to go long, at exactly what price to go short. If you're doing your own trading, I'll teach and train you. If Bert's trading for you on the one trade a day program, then I don't need to teach Bert anything. Okay? All right. So let's get rocking and rolling. Take a look at this crude trade from last night. We went over it on the radio show today. On Thursday, I said the next free trade will be available 7 p.m. Sunday night. And it was. December crude. long above 48.05, short below 47.80. We triggered at 7:20 p.m. Eastern. This initial swing low here was good for 14 ticks. And this swing low here was good for 36 ticks. And this swing low here all the way down to 51 ticks. Now, I published that last night, but it's wrong. Yeah. Wrong. Let me take you to the page. Okay. And let me give you the right numbers. Okay. And I do that. I miscalculated because I was basing it off the time. I don't even, who knows. But you were hawking the page. Oh, you got to hit Control R right at the top of the hour so that it'll refresh the page and give you the trade. The clock will change, but the actual trade itself, because it's HTML, you got to refresh the page and it'll pop up. Okay. The initial trade, the initial swing was 46 minutes. The second swing, 62 minutes. The next swing was 6 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. And the low of the day was 46.35. All right. Nope. It's actually 46.25. See, I can't get you out the low of the day. I mean, even getting you out at 46.35, that's tough. But let's say that you trailed your stop with the smallest part of your position. Let's say you did that. Want to say that? Okay. All right, let's do that. All right. 46.80. I'm sorry, not 46.80. 47.80. Okay, 47.80. That's right. 47.80 minus 46.35. That is 145 ticks. That's not right, is it? Let's do this again. I don't want to put any erroneous information out. Back it up, Jack. Okay, yeah, right, and that's right. We bump it down to 47.79 because if we're going to be short below 47.80, we got to drop it down one tick because that's the first place you can be short below 47.80. So let's rock it. 47.79 minus swing low 46.35 equals 144 ticks. Now, 144 ticks times $10. You're way ahead of me, right? Times $10 equals $1,440 per contract. So after your commissions, there would still be a gee whiz left per contract. Not the 10 or the 20 contracts, but per contract. Now, let's say you got triggered in last night into this thing when the trade came out. It came out at 7 p.m. Eastern, triggered at 7:20, and let's say that your game plan was, I'm going to stay in this thing until, I don't know, close of business tomorrow. Maybe you did something like this. I'm just throwing out possibilities, okay? this is where the trade was issued. And let's say you managed to stay in through there. Okay. And you stayed in it long enough with your final smallest part of the position that you could actually do that. Okay. So let's say you kick a trend line out and you say, you know what, once I get a close back up above that trend line, I'm out. Ready. Okay. So once we close above the trend line, we're out. We're out. We're going to get out. Oh, we're still in. Oh. See? Now, instead of getting out at 46.35, we're getting out at 46.80. But that's kind of realistic because you're able to connect these 2 points. And once you got above that trend line. Now, did price continue lower? Yeah, we figured out it got all the way down to 46.20. So, not telling you should have made $1,400 out of the trade. I'm just showing you what the market made available. All right? I'm giving you the entry. I'm telling you exactly when to get in, when to get long, when to get short. We teach you how to manage the trade, or if you want, Bert will manage the trade as part of the 1 Trade a Day program. So again, you're going to have 3 things to work, 3 things to choose from. The Concierge Trade Alerts. That's where you're going to get 16 markets. I'm sorry, 8 markets, 2 trades per market, 16 trades per day. Or the 1 Trade a Day, Monday through Friday, Bert's going to trade that for you. Or you're going to get the free trade and you'll get 3 of those a week. Not to say that there won't ever be, weeks when I have extra time and I'm able to actually come through with 5 of the free trades. Okay? But in the beginning I said 3 to 5, and just the way things are shaping up, especially since we are now convinced that we have to bring back the 1 trade a day, it's going to be more like 3 free trades a day. 3 free trades a week. You guys got to stop confusing me. All right. Let's get through this recap. I'm going to go quick too because it's all marked up. Okay? S&P 500 last night, Concierge Trade Alert. Here's what we said. Be long above 2038 or short below 2011. There was no trigger. And I'm glad. Really? Why are you glad? Well, I'm going to tell you why I'm glad. Because we're in this sort of a sticky area here where price seems to be having some difficulty breaking away from this 1920. If we go all the way back into Thursday's trade, let's see, this was Sunday night. No, this was Monday. No, this was Sunday night. Sunday night, Monday. This is Friday. This is Thursday. So Thursday, we got up into this zone, 1920. And man, we've not been able to break loose from that thing. So I wanted the market to really show me something to the upside or the downside that says I can let go, right? We need it to let go. It's been oscillating now for 3 days. 4, above and below and above and below and above and below and above and below and above. And if it holds true to form, it's going to come back down and hit it again. So, no trigger on the S&P. Bonds, a little different story. We said to be short. Well, first we said to be long above 158.29. We got stopped out. Okay. On the short side, we said to be short below 158.12. First move gave us 8 ticks. Bonds pay 31.25 per tick, so we only need 4 ticks. 4 ticks, done for the day. Next move gave us 5 ticks. That's what the market made available. How many you took? Entirely up to you. The next move made 26 ticks available. Okay? That's a lot of ticks. Crude Now, I gave a different number on the concierge trade alerts last night than I did on the free trade. I said to consider being short below 47.10. 75 ticks. $750 per contract. Now that's just to here. I didn't measure it over to here. From 47.10 to 46.35. Oh, it must have went even further. 47.10 minus 46.35. 47.10 minus 46.35. Okay. Yeah, that's 750. That is, yeah, $750 per contract. But you can't get it all. If you get half of it, that's okay. If you just get your 10 ticks a day, because remember, 10 ticks a day is $100 per contract. And in 24 months, you can graduate as a 20 contract trader. That's an awesome thing. Euro 6E. The alert said to consider being short below 113.30. Dropped 22 ticks. Then over here, we dropped all the way down to 131. 11,314. Okay. All right. So from 11,330 to 11,318. That's 12. That's not 22. Who are you trying to kid? All right. And then 11,330. So I need to go 30 minus 14. So that's 16. That's better. Now, the euro pays $12.50 per tick, so you only need 8 ticks to be done for the day. Okay? Soybeans. Soybeans. There we go. Soybeans, long above 906. That never happened. Short below 894. All right, 894. We trigger and we get all the way down to 890.70. Call it 891. Call it 3 cents. What do we need to be done for the day? 2 cents. This was a 3-cent move. We only need 2 cents. Soybeans pay just like the S&P, $12.50 per tick, $50 per point, or in the case of beans, per penny. Okay. Russell. Consider being long above 1161. The first swing high. Can we get a reading on that? 1164.30. Long above 1161 to 64.30. That's 33 ticks in an hour. That's $330 per contract. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Okay, so this time we go to 1166.50. From 1161 to 66.50, that's 55 ticks. That's $550 per contract. So the maximum available was 300 and change in this hour. The max available in this hour was 500 and change. How many ticks do you need to be done for the day as a 24/20 blueprint trader? 10. Just 10. Now, the alert also said to consider being short below 53. Russell, long above 61, short below 1153. Swing low over here, it's 51.80, so that was 12 ticks. Over here, we got down to 51. So from 53 to 51, that's 20 ticks. There's another 20 ticks. The Dow. The Dow was to be short below 170.70. You need 20 points at $5 a point. There's 13, 8, 9, 38, 5. That's what the market made available. You get to determine how many you're going to take out of what the market makes available. Okay? The only thing left, we've covered the Russells, we've covered the ES, the Dow, the S&P, soybeans, gold. Gold, we said to be short below 1170. We got down to a swing low of 1169. That's 10 ticks. That's $100 per contract per day. Now we triggered again. We got down to 1168.30. Okay, so from 70 to 68.30, that's 17 ticks or $170 per contract. $170 per contract. For the 10 contract trader, that's $1,700. Is there enough volume to support that? Well, in this hour, there was 20,000 contracts traded. In this hour, 6,000 contracts traded. So yeah, there was sufficient. There was indeed. I hope you'll give a lot of thought to what I talked to you about tonight. Okay? It was easy to get through the recap because I had everything marked up, because I did a full recap on the radio show today. But I like the idea of being able to give you that standalone recap at the end of the day, and I'll continue to do that on days when time permits. This is a nasty little formation here. Some call it a bugle or a megaphone. Call it whatever you want. It's when you're getting higher highs, and here you're getting lower lows, but now you're getting higher lows. It's a mess. So let this thing break out. Go trade something else in the meantime. That's my thoughts. To be honest with you, the Concierge Trade Alert tonight's probably going to be about the same as last night, because I want us out of this area before we start committing money to a trade. The next free trade will be out tomorrow morning, because I already leaked it. It's supposed to be top secret. I leaked it earlier today on the radio show. It's coming out at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. Concierge Trade Alerts will be out just as soon as I can get them finished tonight. And you'll be able to start filling out your letter of direction with Bert to trade your one trade a day as early, I think, as tomorrow. Okay, let me double check with Michael, but I think we have everything geared up, ready to go. You have an account with Daniels. Okay, this is how it works. You simply fill out a letter of direction giving Bert your express permission to trade your account on your behalf. You simply have to let us know if you want one contract, two contracts, three contracts. If you're trading one contract, that's fine. It'll cost you $100 a month. If you want to trade 5 contracts, each day when it's time for the one trade a day, okay? If you want to trade 5 contracts, it'll cost you $500 a month. If you're ready to be a 10 contract trader because you got somebody else doing the trading for you, Bert, well, you can do the math, okay? It's $100 per contract. Now, that's for our service. That's for the one trade a day service, okay? Now, Bert, who will be placing the trade for you on your behalf, there is, of course, a commission involved with all trades. And because he's placing the trade and managing the trade on your behalf, there's just a very nominal fee. It's for the benefit of having someone with that many years' experience manage your trade for you. It's just a no-brainer. Okay, so Listen, I got to run. I got work. I got family to tend to, and I've got work to do to get these trade alerts out for all of the clients and partners tonight. Be ready for that free trade tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow morning in the live trading room we can point you to a link where you'll be able to actually start downloading your paperwork so that you can get everything in order, and you'll be part of the beta's done. Okay, remember before I said I'm going to give you one trade a day for the next 3 days. Okay, and then that was the end of the beta. We compiled the data. It's awesome. Everybody was very pleased with the results, and so now it's full steam ahead. All right, love you guys. See you in the live trading room. Take care.